Hello friends, and welcome to another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes video. This is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy, and today we are continuing our conversation on ships. Now, we have just finished, or you are likely to have just finished, your first territory wars. Now, with that, I am piggybacking this video off of a video that I did earlier this week that talked about ships and territory wars. Now, what I would like to do with this specific video is talk about the best combination of ships in the game. Now, I am specifically going to be looking at the ships that I use personally and how I use them and how effective they are. You can farm every single one of the ships that I'm going to show you. Now, they will take time to farm, so if you're just starting the game, these will most likely not be available to you right off the bat, but they are some of my favorite ships, and I have them situated like this. Now, you can switch out capital ships. I'm going to start off with Thrawn. Now, my top three that I love, that I put in almost every single one of my fleets, is the TIE Advanced, the Imperial TIE Fighter, and the First Order TIE Fighter. There are the other TIE Fighter, the First Order Special Forces TIE Fighter that is brand new, and the TIE Slicer or Silencer are great ships, or could potentially be great ships, but I don't have them leveled up, and they're not free to play at the moment. And so really, these are the three that they were my first ships that I got 7-star. They were the first ships that I really built out. But the reason I like them is because fleets and ship battles all together are based around one thing, and that thing is target lock, and these three ships are very friendly with target lock. The next combination that I really love, and they're effective with this, but they're also effective in a rebel situation. They are the Ghost and the Phantom. They are very effective and they are very useful. And then finally, my three backup ships, my three reserve ships are Slave 1, Scimitar, and Fives, Umbaran Starfighter. And I'll talk about why each one is and how I approach ships in the game period. Now, what I like about these ties is that they throw down target lock just as quickly as you possibly can. They are effective with Thrawn, they are effective with Mace Windu, and they are effective pretty much on every single squad. They can be effective with Home 1 with an Akbar lead, but I like running a full-on Rebel team with an Akbar lead. It's a lot of fun to play with. Here in this, you can notice just as the event continues, I'm throwing down just a ton of target lock, and look at the debuffs that I've already started stacking on them. Now, one of the reasons why I like the Phantom and the Ghost here is they really piggyback off of one another. When the Phantom is able to use its static jam ability, you target an ally, both allies gain, that ally and the Ghost gain stealth, and then it calls rebel allies to assist. Now, typically what I do when I lose a ship, I bring in my Umbaran Starfighter. Now, this will really depend on how many sets of target lock I have on the enemy ships. Now, as you see, I threw down target lock on all of them, and when I brought in the Umbaran Starfighter, he does get to go automatically, and I use his special ability that deals damage to all target locked enemies. Now, in this next scene, I'm going to kind of play around with a little bit of the rebels, and I'm going to show you the connection with how effective the Ghost and the Phantom are with a rebel squad. So one of the things that I really like about a rebel team under an Akbar lead is his crew skill, or his crew ability. Whenever an ally attacks out of turn, they have a 40% critical, or a plus 40% critical damage, and gain protection up for 2 turns. These bonuses are doubled for rebel allies. Now, with a rebel team, you're getting a lot of assist. You're getting a lot of opportunity for your crew, your fleet, to really attack out of turn, which means you're going to see a lot of protection being thrown on your extra ships. Now, that's incredibly beneficial with something like this. once I lost Phoenix 2, or once I lost the Phantom 2, I was able to pull in the Scimitar. Now the Scimitar, you know, he throws on, his special ability gives stealth to people, except for one person who then gets retribution. If you throw that on a Biggs character, you have a character who is attacking out of turn, who is a rebel, who is going to constantly be getting some serious protection. Now that's beneficial, and that's one of the reasons that I like this. Is Biggs is frustrating on almost every team, and he is one of the first ships that I attack or that I target outside of, or from the onset of the fleet battle. Now this is a very effective offensive team. I'm doing some serious damage. I think that this is definitely one of those strong offensive teams that could be used in a territory war. Now, especially if you don't have everyone maxed out, because you wouldn't necessarily need the rebels to be maxed out, because they get additional protection, because they work together so effectively. Things like Grand Moff Tarkin's, you know, super death ability, where he brings in all those ships, isn't as detrimental to this team as potentially some of the other team combinations that exist. Now, moving on, the last crew that I wanted to show you is that original crew, the three ties, the ghosts, you know, the rebel ships, and my trusty rusty reserve team. I wanted to show you what they look like underneath a Mace Windu capital ship. Mace Windu's special abilities really take advantage of target locked enemies. This fortune favors the bold. It will deal damage to every single ship that is target locked, and these 5 ships that you have right now, or that I have showing right now, are all ships that in one form or another can deal target lock, or can help to deal additional target lock. Now, it is incredibly effective if you can throw on target lock and then take advantage of this fortune favors the bold. Now, here's the thing though, as I've mentioned in my other videos, I've mentioned earlier in this, pilots, your pilot's gear level, your pilot's ability to, the Zetas, their overall power level, really is going to indicate how effective your ships are going to be. That's the same for the fleet ships or the capital ships. It doesn't matter. Now, Mace Windu, for me, is not the most effective. He's a character that I like to play. He was someone that I enjoyed, but not someone that I've really geared out. But the benefit of this character, the benefit of this team is obvious. Now, even if you don't have a team like this that works with target lock, another team that you may want to consider is a full-on Republic team. We don't have enough Republic ships to really have a solitary, Republic fleet, but we do have enough with, you know, an extra ship here or there that they can be very, very effective as a defensive team in the territory wars. Now, the next time that territory wars comes around, I'm going to be playing around with this a little more, and I am going to be putting in this team as this team that you just saw as my defensive team. I'm going to build up my Republic ships, and I really want to see how effective they are on defense. Now, because we did just finish territory wars, I'm really curious to know how you guys played it. It's been a lot of fun for me. I know that a lot of people have mixed feelings, like a lot of the events that have come out recently. I pulled my guild and the people that I've known, and they've really enjoyed it so far. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a little more time intensive than I think people initially thought, but it's not nearly the same level of time intensity as territory battles. Now, once you've said it, and that's just for the regular player. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not an officer, and my guild officers work harder than the normal player to get things running smoothly. But now what we focused on in our guild was to kind of divide and conquer, right? We had some of our lighter ships in one area mixed with some of our heaviest ships, then some of our medium ships mixed with some of our stronger medium ships. So some of our heavier players put in their second best fleet, and then the rest went offensive. Now, this has been a very interesting event because it really shows you where your guild's strength and weaknesses lie, and as far as their rosters. Now, I'm curious to know what changes will be made to this event, especially when it comes to ships. Will they be adding a new fleet? I'd also like to see a First Order and a Resistance ship fleet, but we might get that with new characters. We might get that with a few other things. I'm sure that after the movie comes out, we'll probably be getting more characters. But what did you guys think of Territory Wars? And then how have you used different ship combinations in this event? Leave a comment in the section below. Let me know what you think. What are your strongest ship combinations? This is just the group that I use most effectively, and it's worked for me. What works for you? What doesn't work for you? What have you come across that is just really easy to defeat? Leave a comment in the section below. Let's talk, let's share, and let's help each other out. This has been Thaddeus from Going Nerdy, and as always, my friends, stay nerdy.